pushes underneath the truck. He's a decent mechanic. Underneath the truck falls off the jack, crushes him.
Can't even imagine.
The front axle's laying down essentially on your spine. Any
Yeah.
paralysis from that resulting from that?
No, it did chafe my spinal cord, which it took me about, I don't know, several months. I had to literally learn how to walk again and learn to go up steps again and stuff. So
Wow. Okay, so now they managed to get the thing jacked up.
yeah. So he's jacked it up off me. I look down, I see this flat spot, and literally it was cartoonish.
Blood
There's
everywhere.
nothing in real life. No, no. The only blood that came out was out of my mouth.
Oh,
Really?
And that was it. It stopped. Just came out of my mouth. It was all internal damage when the piece that found me is kind of rounded,
mm-hmm.
and it was a crush injury.
Mm-hmm.
So everything inside, spleen, pancreas,
just
small
smashed.
intestines, those two vertebrae, various arteries, various veins severed, arteries severed, everything in here destroyed basically. The guy jacks it up off my body. I look down, I see this ridiculous flat spot. And two things happened when I saw that flat. When I looked down, I saw my body. The first thing was, I didn't know at the time why. Doctors were able to explain it later. But when he took the truck off my body, I had horrible pain already. But when he took the truck up, when he jacked it up off my body, this incredible weakness took over. Doctors said that was because as long as the truck was on me, it had all those veins and arteries pinched off.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as when he took the truck off my body, I'm now free bleeding
mm-hmm.
in multiple arteries, multiple vein places. And they said that's why I felt so weak. That was the first thing. The other thing, again, this horrible pain, as you can imagine, that is just, I can't even tell you how bad the pain was. It was off the charts. So I've got this horrible pain. I've got this weakness that's taken over, and I'm afraid that the jack is going to slip and it's going to fall on me because it's precariously, it's just barely hanging on. Right. So I'm begging him to get me out from underneath the truck. Most people, if you could picture the chrome bumper was just behind my head.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just underneath the front of it. Most people have been told you don't want to move somebody with a back injury.
Mm-hmm.
He could see that I was flat across the middle. I had to have a back injury, so he wouldn't touch me. I was terrified that it was going to slip and fall, so I panicked. I reached back and I grabbed the bottom of the chrome bumper just back behind my head. The creeper that I was on was a plastic hollow core piece of junk that was his. And when it fallen on me, thank God it was a plastic creeper, because when it fell on me, it collapsed that creeper to in the middle, So it still has got the little wheels on the end, and I was able to grab the bumper and drag myself out so that now like my shoulders and arms and the head is sticking out from the front bumper. I look underneath the truck, and if the jack slips, it's going to fall on my legs.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought if I could just put my palms on the bumper and do a push and straighten out my arms, that would be enough that if the jack slips, won't break my legs. And when I went to do that push, for whatever reason, my eyes fixated on my right arm. I was wearing a short sleeve uniform, and my bicep and my arm were shaking so fast. It was like literally like a blur. And when I saw my arm shaking that fast, like it didn't even seem possible. It terrified me. I mean, I already had this pain, I already got all this, but when I saw my body shaking like that, it was very unnerving. But the very next thing was, I realized at that point I couldn't breathe. Both of my lungs have been collapsed. The bottoms of both my lungs were collapsed. I was able to pull in some breaths for a while. But at this point, when I'm trying to do that push and push myself up from me to clear my legs, I was trying to suck in another breath and I couldn't get it. So what I'm doing, literally laying at that truck with my palms on the bumper, I'm literally doing the trying to suck in the next breath, and I couldn't. My heart is racing because my body's in shock, which just made the pumping out of the arteries even worse. And I heard, the craziest thing, I heard my heart stop. My heart is racing. Bup, 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 bup. Sometimes you can hear your own pulse in your ear when you're physically.
Yeah.
You could hear it. And it was the weirdest thing. To me, it sounded like shutting off an engine. As a mechanic, that's what it reminded me of. My heart's going, bup, 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 and it just went, dut, 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 dut. And on the last beat of my heart, my spirit left my body. I went up in the roof of the garage, I don't know, 15, 16, 17 feet. People talk about near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, whatever. I had one of those. Let me just say this to any fellow Christians out there, somebody who has Jesus in their life. The Bible says basically that the day we die is going to be the best day of our life. And that's exactly what I experienced. I went up in the ceiling and I felt this peace that I don't have words for. There are not words to describe how good it felt. I could tell people I was having a party in the ceiling by myself. I could tell people It was peace times a million, but again, I don't have words to describe how good it felt. It's exactly what I wanted my whole life. So I'm up in the ceiling having a party by myself. I'm looking down on the accident scene. I can see the
Wow.
truck. I can hear the other mechanic. He's on his knees running his fingers through my hair. I didn't know it was me. I was so disconnected. I didn't even know that guy in the truck was me. I could hear the other mechanic saying stuff like, I should be the one that's dead, not you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because he had jacked up the truck and not used the safety equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And up in the ceiling, I could care less. I didn't feel bad for him or the guy, nothing. And the emergency, the volunteer fire department people, they're all showing up onesie twosies. I'm listening to their conversations. They call med flight. I'm listening. I'm watching it all, listening to it all. And on each side of the other mechanic, his name was Leonard. He's like 6'1", 6'2". So they weren't going to do CPR because I have a massive chest injury.
Right.
So I've got no pulse at this point. So they just stood back. They've called med flight already. They stand back. So he's above me crying, and they're all just kind of standing around talking. And on each side of Leonard, and he's, like I said, 6'1", 6'2", on each side of him was an angel, also on their knees, just like he was, but their heads were approximately 2 feet taller than him. So I'm going to guesstimate off of him like an 8 feet tall angels. I've read through the Bible now a bunch of times. I looked up every time angels are mentioned. They're mentioned like 290 sometimes.
Really?
And sometimes it mentions they have wings, and sometimes they don't have wings. These two angels didn't have wings. They were men. Sometimes it mentions their white shining robes. That's what they had. White shining robes. They're emanating light. They never talked. I never got to see their faces because I was up above looking down on their back.
Sure.
I could see they had long hair. They had like I said, a white shining robe. There was a belt. Their hair was so long that it went all the way down to where the belt was. The one from the driver's side reaches over and puts his hands in the middle of the flat spot. The one from the passenger side did the same thing. So I look from above and I go, look, those two angels are down there to help that guy. That's nice. And it was like I didn't care. It seemed like so nonchalant. It was so weird. So I'm watching it all happen, and people are all just kind of standing around. And then there's 8 people. This happened 19 years ago. And for years, I could shut my eyes and still pull that picture back up.
Mm-hmm.
After 19 years, it's pretty foggy now. But looking down from above, there was 8 people from the volunteer fire department. And number 9 and 10, the last 2 people came in the back door, which is the wrong door.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody came from the door behind me, the main entrance, but the last 2 people came in the wrong door, the back door, came up the driver's side of the truck. And I'm just going to stop and say this. Over a year later, when I got out of the hospital, I went to that volunteer fire department on their monthly meeting to tell them thank you. The only one who knew I was coming was the head of the chief. He kept me in a room off to the side. As soon as he started the meeting, he brought me out, and I was able to go around a room of approximately 30 people in this volunteer fire department over a year after the accident. And I went around and I picked out 8 of the 10 people who came to the scene of the accident over a year later. And everybody has to know, I had no heartbeat or no pulse. The real Bruce was in the ceiling. My spirit was up in the ceiling. And I watched these, and in front of all these people, there was 2 people I couldn't identify. But the last 2, the ones that came in the back door, in front of everybody, I pointed them out. It was easy because it was the only woman and it was the only gray-haired guy. Those 2 came in the back door together. And in front of everybody, I said to them, why did you come in the wrong door? I've been thinking about this for over a year. The entrance to this place is from behind me, and they came in the wrong door. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense. It had been a year. They couldn't even remember it first. And they talked about it and like, oh yeah, we missed the driveway. There's the main driveway going up. They saw the flashing lights. They drove past it, caught a secondary gravel driveway that comes up to the back of the shop. It's a little detail,
Mm-hmm.
but it proves that the real Bruce was in the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Bible says there's a spirit that lives inside of us. My spirit was up in the ceiling watching from above. And that's why I was in perfect peace. I could see my body, and I just watched everybody come in, and especially those last 2 people. So that lady, she plays a really important part. She gets down between the angels. She's feeling for a pulse. And from my view from above in the ceiling, there was a big guy in what I call farmer bibs, those light colored bibs with the blue stripes.
Yeah.
Big burly guy. He had his arms crossed. There was a little guy next to him. And the big burly guy said to her, I watched him do it. I listened, and he said, it's too late. He's already passed. And she's frantically feeling for a pulse. And he said it again. It's too late. He's already passed. She ignores him, and she says, what's his name? Leonard is now over to the right. She's down between the angels. He's to the right, which would be the driver's side of the truck. And he says to her, Bruce Vanetta. And I watched that lady start slapping that guy in the face down there. And she's saying, Bruce Vanetta, come back. Bruce Vanetta, come back. And I didn't know it was my name. And I know that sounds weird, but I did not know it was my name. But yet, the only way I can describe it, it sounded a little bit familiar.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way I can describe it. And all of a sudden, my spirit started creeping down. And when I got about half the way, it went really fast, came back into my body. My heart starts miraculously. No CPR, no medicine, no nothing. My heart starts miraculously. And I go from feeling the best I've ever felt to feeling the worst I've ever felt. And I went, I said a 4-letter word that means fertilizer. I'm the guy under the truck. It's me. I realize it's me that I was looking down on. And it hurts so bad. The difference between this amazing peace to this horrible pain. And I just said, God, I don't want this. I don't want it. My heart stopped. My spirit left my body. I went right back up into the roof of the garage. Second time. And now I'm up in the roof of the garage looking down from above. I could see the accident scene. I could see the lady. I could see the angels. But this time something different. A tunnel opened up going out of the roof of the garage.
Hold that right
with a
there.
bright light on the end
Hold
of it.
that right there. We're going to go out the break because we'll hear about the tunnel when we come back. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com.
So good.
Be right back.
But when he calls me sugar, I love that man with all my might. Sugar in the morning, sugar in the afternoon. Sugar after dinner, sugar in every room. He says I'm sweet as I can be. When he calls me that name, it does things to me. I tell him, honey, you can call me sugar.